Morning, we Sparkers. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. I want to try to bring the energy up in here today because I know that when the energy's high, that we learn more efficiently. So I know summer's here. It's a fire element season, and there's a lot of energy moving with the sun and the heat and all of that type of weather stuff, plus just chi and life force. Um, there's a lot to be said for the elements of the seasons, and we are in the summer season. We're going to talk about the elements today, of course, and I want to just give you a little bit of background of what we're in store for today, okay? I'm Christo Pellani. I have the great fortune of being associated with the We Spark community for over 20 years. Uh, we've done many different types of programs and activities at We Spark, from drumming circles to energy healing circles to Qi Gong classes and now we're doing this series, which I'm very excited about, that we call Self-Healing Through the Five Elements. So the premise of the class and of the series is that we're going to learn about the structure of the traditional Chinese medicine healing system, which is called the five elements. Now, this is an ancient system. It's not, taught very much to other Western teachers. Western doctors quite often don't refer to it. Um, but the Eastern doctors that work with the herbs, the acupuncture, and the elemental associations of the five elements have learned over thousands of years that this is a very efficient and uh, time healing. Okay, so learn here over the next 6 weeks are how these elements factor into our lives across the board. There are many different ways that they can affect us, and so it's kind of like a combination of lecture, sort of teaching about the elements, how they work. We're going to, structure it each week a little bit differently. And by the end of the 6 weeks, we'll have developed a plan for you that you can use for your own self-healing. And of course, I'm always going to be available along the way to assist and answer any questions, or be available if you have any thoughts or feelings about this or any questions. So what I'd like to do is ask you, if you would, keep your computers on mute so that there's no noise coming through the screens, please. Make sure that your iPhone is in the closet somewhere or turned off so it doesn't disturb you, or, don't want to have that kind of interruption. Have a glass of water with you. And people will often ask me, should I take notes? And I'm suggesting no, that we don't do that, only because it keeps you more present when you're here listening. There's energy among us here, and it's being recorded, so you can always refer back to the class, and you can fast forward to where you want to go if you just want to go to the Qi Gong part, or to the lecture part, or to whatever thing or aspect of the class you're interested in. So I would suggest not taking notes. Just be as present as you can. I'm going to make this a combination of talking, and I have some charts I want to show you, which you will be receiving by email, so that everything that we're referring to today, you'll get copies of the actual charts. Now, the charts are cool because you can create, what I like to do is create a folder for all the learning materials I have when I take a course. So for example, if you have an email, you can set up a folder that says, elements training, or We Spark elements, or whatever you want to name it. And then all the documents that you get sent, you can keep them in that file, like an archive. And any notes that you have, some people like to type on the computer. I like to write stuff down in a journal. So I suggest that you start a journal. If you're so moved to do that, it will help you integrate what you're learning, and will also just give you some musings to, offer yourself some reflection time and write down ideas and thoughts and feelings that you have as you move through the class. Now, I'm going to encourage you to come once a month. Each class is kind of it kind of steps forward from the one previous to it. And so the whole system will make sense if you come every week. If you miss a class, it will be recorded. I'm sure that Michelle and everyone at WeSpark will provide you the recording. So that's kind of cool. The recording's pretty neat. There's been various reasons why, but I'm happy to say that we're providing that so you can have it to study and reflect and review everything that we talk about here in the class, okay? All right, so now having said that, this is a community of like-minded and open-hearted people. I've always thought WeSpark is like the oasis in the desert. You know, it's like where people come to get support, to share ideas, to feel like they have people they can talk to and be listened to, and it's kind of a family environment. So I know that there are many concerns about confidentiality whenever we have groups like this. If you do not want to be on screen, you certainly have, you know, that option not to be on screen. You can take yourself off screen. Anytime you like, you can come back and forth if you want. I will be on screen because I'm going to be, you know, actually, you know, teaching, and you'll be able to see me in the recordings actually explaining things and working with the charts and the movements and that kind of thing. Okay. So make yourself comfortable, do what feels right for you, and just listen with an open heart about how to learn how this will resonate with you. Everyone else that I've ever worked with will say, well, I like to write. I'm visual. I like to listen. Everybody has their own style of learning. So I think we have the blessing of having the recording that you can review later, so that if anything comes up and you go, oh, I don't remember what he was talking about, because we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. If it doesn't, you know, come into the memory right away, you have the charts and you have the recording, so it should be actually very useful on both ends. Okay, so don't worry about remembering everything today. Just try to be in the experience as much as you can, and just let things sort of sink in and resonate with you on the level that they do. Okay, so now I just want to say thank you again to Michelle and to the WeSpark staff, and that they're very grateful to. I want to make this a very high value session for you. Okay, so without further ado, as they say in Shakespeare, I'd like to get started. I want to tell you just one little summary again of what we're going to do, so you understand the components of this particular class today. So we're going to start with a little bit of a meditative Qi Gong opening, and then we're going to take a few moments to kind of get settled and get organized in our space and comfortable in your space. And then I'm going to bring in some teaching materials about the 5 elements. We're going to discuss it sort of globally, and then I'm going to go through each of the elements, how they have these wonderful associations to our wellness and health. So for example, each of them has a season that it's associated with, like summer. Fire element is summer. Fire is, of course, life force and blood and qi and energy. Emotionally, fire is love, it's compassion, it's forgiveness, it's gratitude. Now, on the other side of the emotion, the challenging part, it can be overstimulation. If we get kind of hysterical because of things, fire can be too much fire, right? So the organ is the heart of the fire element. The color is red, right? Like a nice red color. And there's a sound associated with it, a vowel sound, which is the sound A, and it's in the key of C on the scale. So you say A in the key of C, and that resonates the energy of the heart. So there are all these different associations, a color, a sound, a season, an emotion, right? All of these various aspects of each element has these aspects. So it's a beautiful ancient pneumatic system of learning with all of these different energy correspondences. So once you know the elements and you see it, you can see it depicted on charts, you can see how the flow cycles work with the elements, you start to understand how it relates to your physical and your psycho-emotional makeup. Then you can integrate all of this knowledge into your personal life with the food you eat, the types of Qi Gong that you do, if it's breathing exercises, various aspects of imbalancing your emotions and your psycho-emotional nature. So then you have much more of a deeper understanding of who you are in relation to in terms of the elemental connection between nature and the natural flow of life force that we have around us. Now, again, this is a very Eastern concept. In China, people learn this from the time they're very young, and all the Qigong teachers and masters know the elements inside out and upside down. If you ever go to an acupuncturist, they will, in their diagnostic, they're working with elements. They don't always say to you, we're working with this element, but they will do pulses on your wrists. They'll check to see the status of an organ, if it's overstimulated or maybe understimulated, and then they address it with Qigong or herbs or certain acupuncture points to work with this idea of the elements being the central and foundational structural concept of healing. Okay, are you with me so far, everybody? So you can see this is a new way of thinking. It's a new way of approaching your health, but it's an old proven system that once you know it, it becomes kind of a way of life. And then you can adjust your lifestyle accordingly. Okay, so as I said, each week we'll learn something a little bit different. And by the end of the 6 weeks, you will have enough knowledge where we can kind of craft a structure of a personal plan for you, that where you can work with the element that's predominant in your life, maybe ones that you want to bring in, how that affects the organs and the breath and the chi and everything, all the other aspects. Okay? All right. So I think that it's the most exciting healing information that's available to us because it relates to the natural world. It relates our bodies and our emotions and our energetic aspects of who we are in relation to nature. So it's a really exciting thing. Now, what I'd like to do first is just, now that we have that set up, so you know what we're going to do. We're going to do a little Qigong. We're going to do some lecture and some stuff with charts, which you will receive later. And then we'll have an actual experience where I'll work with you using certain sounds with certain organs. And then we'll cap it with a summary using Qigong exercises and a nice energy clearing exercise for you. I think Michelle wanted to say something. Go ahead, Michelle, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christo. There's still a couple of people. We absolutely need to know your last name that you're registered with at WeSpark. There's Alma G. And I think there's one other, iPhone 3. I need to know your guys' last name. This is how we get our grants and our funding. So we're able to keep services like this free of charge for you. So this is really important.
Yeah, just take a moment in the chat. While you don't have to be on screen, but just go to the chat and make sure you get that completed at some point in the next, hour or so while we're here. Okay,
Thank you so much. Thanks, Christo.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put myself on the spotlight so you can see me here on the screen and put some documents up for you to be here. Okay. And these documents are going to be sort of some teaching materials that, again, you will be receiving these materials in the email. So the first thing I have here is the little summary that I sent out that's in the email that introduces the class to you, where the 5 elements process for health, harmony, and self-healing. So harmony is a really important part of the concept of the 5 elements. When we work with sound, which we're going to be doing a lot in our discovery of the elemental system, sound is used as a way to harmonize. It harmonizes your emotions, the energy field around you called the aura, and the overall sense of energy that's flowing through your meridians. So harmony is a very important idea of what the sort of umbrella of under that we're under with the 5 elements. So it says here, it connects to all aspects of our life: diet, movement, mind, emotions, all interconnected with nature. So the 5 elements play a role in the balance of energy in the body. Balance is also a very important concept, contributing to everything from personality traits to health and well-being. So this, the idea that we're working with here, the framework structure of the 5 elements, uses Qi Gong as a component of the structure. So Qi Gong is an ancient form of a passive martial art, which you probably know of. It's not Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a type of Qi Gong. It's related to Qi Gong. Qi Gong is sort of like the grandparent, and Tai Chi is like a grandson or a son or a daughter, or a they or a them, however they like to identify themselves. But the Qigong is really the ancient system of wisdom and the well that everyone drinks from. So Qigong is a very important concept and a process using your body to move and connect with certain organs. So we call this, in another way, medical Qigong. So medical Qigong relates to the practice of Qigong that is defined and specific to the 5 main organs in the body that we're going to talk about. So there's 5 main organs, each one for each element, and there's a Qigong movement for each of the organs. So Qigong is a very important part of it. My teacher, Fabian Maman, in the Tamado Academy, where I've been for the last 20 years, over 20 years, he went to China, and there's a place over there called the Medicineless Hospital, and they cure everything with Qigong, everything. They do Qigong 6 to 8 hours a day with supervision and breaks, and people are able to cure everything from to all types of other ailments in the body. It's a miraculous place. Very few people know of it, but of course they have to really intensify the use of the Qigong and the supervision of it. But the Qigong is very important. If you learn nothing else in this class, I would suggest that you really focus on the Qigong and work with that as much as you can. Okay, so we'll talk about the benefits of that more as we go along. So the Qigong is therapeutic movement is important. The energy healing, breathing, and visualization are other important parts of this process. So when we talk about energy healing, we're talking about visualizing colors and also certain specific breathing techniques that are involved in the process as well, which connects everything through the breath. The unique Tamado style healing protocols that we're talking about use the voice and specially tuned instruments that are associated with the elements. So your voice is a very powerful sound healing tool. And as I mentioned, each of the organs have a sound associated with it, which is connected to that element. And we're going to practice a couple of those today in a certain key, so you'll hear them. And then I have a number of instruments in my studio that replicate the elements, and you'll be able to experience those in sort of a quiet sound healing harmonization meditation. So later on, when we get into the actual process of using the elements for healing, we're going to see how we can digest anxiety, different types of emotions that might be challenging for you and stressful for you, or that may be related to some type of trauma. And I know that people in treatment or recovery from cancer and their families often have tremendous amount of emotional pressure and various things that are going on in the emotions that are challenging. So we're going to learn how to address that using the elemental structure and the techniques that I'm talking about. Okay, and then later you'll be able to say, oh, now I know what to do on my own self-care program. I can use this sound with that Qigong movement. I can visualize this color. I can practice, these particular Qigong brocades every day, and you'll be able to use it as your own self-healing structure. Does that make sense, everybody? So you'll see how to be able to do that. So as I said, a subsequent session will build from the previous one, and they're all interconnected. to connect you to the correspondence of how all this works together for your healing. Okay, so that's just a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be doing over this course. Now, it's well known that when we're disconnected from nature, our vitality declines. Now, the Native American people have told us this for hundreds of years, and so have the yogis and the Ayurvedic teachings in India. They've told us this as well. When we're connected to nature, we just have more vitality. So the idea of this is that we nourish the elements that are within us to bring balance, healing, and a sense of well-being. So each of these aspects of the elements have some interesting kind of correspondences in terms of polarity. And what I mean is there are two different cycles of how the elements work. One is an empowering cycle. It actually brings energy into the field. And the other is what we call a diminishing cycle. And I'm going to show you what I mean here in a few moments. So once we understand which elements kind of empower the ones next, then we can work with our emotions, our Qi Gong, everything kind of works to bring more energy into the cycle. If there are certain aspects of things that we want to diminish, we can also use the elements to diminish those. So the empowering cycle is called the Shen, and the destructive or the limiting cycle is called the Ko cycle. So I'm going to show those to you here in a second, how they work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this chart right here. Can everyone see that okay? You can see it's like a shape of a star, right? So if we're in the summer right here, that's the fire element. And you can see that joy is the emotion that we sort of, is a all-encompassing emotion of the fire element. It's related to, it's related to the heart. So you'll notice the heart has a little minus sign next to it. So each of the elements has a yin organ and a yang organ. So one is yin organs are receiving organs. So the heart is a very yin organ. It receives energy. The yang, the small intestine, does a lot for digesting our food. It's much more active. So what we're interested in Qi Gong are the receiving aspects of the organs. So the heart is the one that we're focused on here in the summer. And you can see the color is red. The note here is C, and there's a sound associated with it also. Then when we move forward, we're going from fire empowers earth. So fire actually helps earth to develop. And so the earth is a grounding energy, a structure, a grounding, and it relates to our stomach and spleen. Now, stomach is the one organ that is a yang organ that we're going to work with in Qigong, because it's very actively digesting our food. It's moving energy rather than receiving it. So the stomach is the center of our being, and it grounds us in the physical to the earth element. You'll notice the color is yellow or gold. Now, whenever the earth is moving in an empowered cycle, so metal comes from earth, kind of made in the earth, right? So metal can be a little bit of an abstract element. What does it mean? It's related to the lungs, and the idea is clarity and balance between the mind and the heart. So you have discernment and clarity in your thinking and releasing any stagnant energy that's not serving you through the lungs. And the season, of course, is autumn. The note is G. The color is white. Now, when water in the winter, metal dissolves and empowers water. So water in the winter is about wisdom. It's also about courage. So the water element is about courage and wisdom, and it's the kidneys, right? The kidneys that cleanse our blood. So the Qigong exercises will be to work with the kidneys. And so we're working with ease and flow and wisdom, the wisdom of ease and flow. And then water, of course, helps wood to grow. So in the spring, wood element is related to creativity and growth, right? That kind of energy of the spring. And it's our liver. And the liver, of course, is kind of like the kitchen sink of the body. It detoxifies constantly, is working to cleanse our blood. So liver is the organ of the wood element in the spring. So we have heart, stomach, lungs, kidneys, and liver, okay? Red, yellow, white, blue, and green. And then there's the associated notes. Now the co-cycle goes the other way. Fire melts metal. Metal chops wood. Wood absorbs the earth. Earth, of course, absorbs water. So do you see how that works? One that goes this way is empowering and enriching the element next. This way, when it goes inside the circle, it's diminishing the quality of the elements. So this is just a way of thinking about how these emotions also work with each other. So we're going to just kind of just give you the information here that will help give you the sort of picture of this. You're going to get this chart, so you'll be able to see this, this actual chart. And now here with the organs, we see this is another depiction of that, where there are certain sounds that are associated with the organs. Now, in the case of the earth, the stomach, the sound is an I. There are vowel sounds here. There's an I, an E, and a U, and an O, and an A. But they're pronounced like Spanish vowels. It's called Cototama pronunciation. So I becomes E, A, the E becomes A, the U becomes U, the O, of course, is O, and the A is A. So it's A, O, U, A, E. Those vowel sounds are very important for releasing Qi out of the organs that are not serving you. We're going to practice a couple of those today. So those are the vowel sounds that are associated with the organs. That's part of the sound healing component that we're going to learn and practice. And once you get used to this, you'll find that you can do this anytime during the day. It's a very useful system for balancing the energy in the organs. Now here I want to show you just a sort of a comparable idea of elements that are associated with Chinese medicine, and then the other elements that you might see in New Age teachings or in Ayurveda. So here, for example, we have in 5 elements in Chinese medicine, we have fire, earth, metal, wood, and water. In the Ayurvedic system, we have earth, water, air, ether, and spirit, right? There's no wood element, there's no metal element. So they're slightly different. One is related to the chakras, the more subtle energy field, and the 5 elements are related to the organs. So the organs and the 5 elements are connected. There's a little more dense energy here with the elements in nature. When we get into the other aspects of the chakras, we're talking about something that's in the subtle body and those kind of elements which are not related to the organs. That's just a comparison, so you can see them. Now here's a cool little thing. It says a generational tale of emotion and the elements. Joy, born in summer of spiritual fire, is the mother of reason, anchored in the late summer in the earth, who gives birth to sadness, formed in autumn of metal, who is the mother of fear, born in the winter, who is the mother of anger in wood, and the mother of joy again in the sense of the completion of the elements. So each of the emotions that we're talking about that are challenging emotions that are associated with the organs, there's a balanced emotion and then one that's in excess. So if we look at the different emotional aspects of it, we can see wood or the liver is anger. So when you have anger or resentment or difficulty, frustration, it impacts the liver. If you're overexcited, hysterical, it impacts the fire element in the heart. If you're worried about something in the future that hasn't happened yet, uncertainty, it affects the stomach. If you have sadness or grief, that affects the lungs and the breathing. And fear represents the past or the kidneys. So we're working with these emotions that are in excess with our elemental healing system. We want to get to the balanced emotions, but we're working with clearing stagnant Qi that might be associated with emotions that end up in the organs. So when we do Qi Gong and sound healing and breathing and visualization, we're able to digest those emotions that are challenging for us and gives us the opportunity to experience the balance and the harmony that comes with the emotions that we're actually wanting in our responsiveness. Now later we're going to discuss the central nervous system and how all this relates to the nervous system, the chemicals that get released in the brain. Last time we did a class, I shared a chart that I sent to you all about the feel-good hormones, the chemicals in the brain, and how to get them associated with our daily life. So whenever we experience stress or trauma or any of these challenging emotions, what happens is our certain hormones into our body cause us a lot of challenge and a lot of difficulty. So all of this then is through the lens of the central nervous system. How can we understand the nervous system, how it relates to the chemicals that get released in our brain whenever we get a reaction to stress? So when we're able to digest these challenging emotions, we're able to keep our nervous system more in balance. So it responds rather than reacts to stress. Then we can release the feel-good hormones into the blood, and then we're able to stay ahead of the stress and the trauma. That makes sense, everyone? So later on, we're going to learn how this all connects to the central nervous system. It's kind of like a little course in self-healing that has everything connected to it. And it's all stuff that you're familiar with, but you just haven't maybe saw or known how this all connects previous to the class. Okay? So we have these elements, we have these cycles of nature, we have these emotions, we have these sounds, and everything is basically structured around these 5 elements. Everything is connected to this system of flow, empowerment, or diminishing. So what we're going to do is begin to work with our Qi Gong practice to experience 2 of the major organs today. One is the lung and the other is the heart. And the reason we're doing this is when we do Qigong brocades, usually when we do a practice, a medical Qigong practice, where we're starting to work with the organs, we usually, and 90% of the time, the lungs. We want a vascular breathing mechanism of the body to start bringing Qi, energy, into the body. And then, of course, the heart, so that the heart will be available to pump the blood and get the energy moving in the body. So we're interested in the cardiovascular aspect of the fundamental aspect of our Qigong practice. We like to start with the lungs and then the heart. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a couple of interesting and powerful exercises for your heart and your lungs. And then we're going to do some sound healing aspects using our voice, and then the different instruments in the room that associate with the heart and the lungs. Okay, so that's how we're going to break into this. We're going to start learning how to actually experiencing the Qi Gong, the sound healing, the breathing technique, the vocal sound, the other instruments, all that's going to be interconnected to these two major organs. Each class, we're going to add another organ, so you'll get to see how they all fit in the 5-element system, how the different Qigong exercises, build off of one another, and how all the sounds are connected and associated with the emotions. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is take a drink of water. I'm going to stop my screen share here for a moment. Take a drink of water. Make sure you have some water available from time to time. I really think that hydration is an important aspect of our, you will probably hear your doctor say to you, how much water are you drinking, right? So we want to be able to hydrate ourselves as much as possible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a couple of loose warm-ups for our Qigong. And if standing is challenging for you, you can do this sitting down. If it's easier for you to sit and your hips hurt or you may have weakness in your knees or your legs, please take care of yourself. Do what feels the best for you, okay? But it's not difficult. These exercises are, I think, pretty easy and useful, and they're not anywhere near as challenging as some yoga postures, for example. So the first thing I like to do is what we call just a standing pose, where you feel your feet really anchoring you to the earth. So feel your feet actually connecting you to the earth. Rock back and forth like a willow in the wind, like this, with your hands facing down at the earth. Now, if you can imagine, there's a current of energy coming up from the earth into your hands. It's like you're almost like pulling the energy up into your hands, feeling this connection between the earth and your hands. And as you rock, you really get your toes and the balls of your feet, the heels, really anchoring you to the earth. So you feel really grounded, like a tree rooted into the earth, okay? And so now take your hands like this and create like an energy field in front of your body where you're actually bouncing your hands very gently in front of your heart and your stomach here. And see if you can feel the energy between your hands and your chest. If you can feel that energy field there. And now, point your middle fingers toward what we call the dantian, which is just below your navel. We're going to talk about the dantian a lot in our Qigong practice. It's also the second chakra called the Hara center, seat of our emotions and passion and sexuality. And so when we point the fingers there, we're making a connection between the energy in our hands and the fire element energy in our finger going into that area. Now take your hands and rub your fingernails together like this. So the reason we do this is to create circulation in the extremities of the body. It's a really good way to get some energy moving very quickly into the extremities. And now smack your hands, rub them together, and get some heat going in the palms. Okay, there are two energy centers in your palms of your hands called the Lao Gong chakras. Those are the energy centers that get activated when people do Reiki or Tui Na or hands-on healing. And now if you now move your hands like this back and forth, you may feel a little energy there, which is pretty cool. And now we're going to begin shaking. So when we shake, we're going to shake progressively with muscle groups. We call this mentastics. We start with the fingers and the wrists, just like you're throwing water off your hands, just shaking. We want to get circulation going here, energy moving. Shake up to your elbows. Make sure your feet are together and that your back is straight. Now shake up to your shoulders, all the way up to your shoulders. Get your shoulders in it. And now your belly and chest. And some people like rebounders, like if you hop like you're on a trampoline, a rebounder, so you're hopping And now raise your hands up high and shake them. Now you may notice some tingling between your hands. You may notice that energy feel a little bit more. It feels like a little force field there. Everybody feel that? Kind of cool, right? So now we're going to drop our hands over the dantian. So if you're identifying as male, you want to put your right hand over the left, right below your navel. If you're identifying as female, left hand over the right, right below the navel. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath here. So we're going to breathe in by pushing the belly out. And exhale, you pull the belly back through your spine. You can do this through your nose. Breathe in through your nose. Push the belly out. Exhale, pull the belly back to your spine. So this type of breathing we like to do in Qi Gong. It's very powerful for various reasons. One, it brings us right into the present moment, and it begins an activation of this very important nerve called the vagus nerve, which we're going to talk about more as we discuss the nervous system of the body. The vagus nerve sits at the base of the spine, or the base of your skull, top of your spine, excuse me, and it's associated with, this energy that regulates our central nervous system. So these types of breathing practices are one way to start getting some balance in the nervous system. And now, as you have your eyes closed and you're feeling this energy here, check in with yourself here today and just see how you're feeling. Now, I'd like to suggest to you that all of your feelings are welcome here. We are not judging ourselves about how we feel. We know that feelings come and go like clouds in the sky. Some days there are certain feelings present, other days other feelings are present. We're not doing anything to criticize our feelings. We want to welcome them. However you feel is fine for you in this moment today. If you don't feel like there's something that feels good, if you would like to let go of certain feelings, we're going to identify those. And we'll be able to assist you in letting go of those emotions or digesting or processing them to clear the way for the emotions that you'd like to have. Now picture yourself at the end of the session. Where you are right now is where you are. If something's challenging you, it's okay. Let it be there. We're going to work with it. Just see yourself at end of session. How would you like to feel? What is your desired state of consciousness? Whatever that is, see yourself there. And now take another breath into that. Breathe in, push that belly out. Bring the energy up into your chest. Exhale, slowly pull the belly back to the spine. And see yourself in that desired state of consciousness to the best you can. So we're going to be working with this visualization a lot, this energy healing aspect of visualization. Okay, and now your hands to your heart, up to your heart. And your affirmation for session is, I love, accept, and appreciate all aspects of myself unconditionally. I love, accept, and appreciate all aspects of myself unconditionally. Okay, so now we're going to do what we call arm swings. Now this is a water element sort of thing because we're reaching back and tapping the kidneys. So you'll notice that I'm just kind of moving back and forth very loosely with my arms. And we're kind of twisting the body a little bit here and giving a good twist. So we're engaging both sides of the brain. This is a wonderful way to calm your nervous system. If you're having a stressful day, you can take a few moments and do some arm swings. If you want to learn breathing with it, breathe in for 2 and out for 2. So breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. So you can slow down the movement if you like to regulate your breath. And now reach up and tap your lungs. We're going to tap the lungs. When we tap the lungs, we're engaging the metal element of clarity and discernment. And we're also getting the lungs a little bit of a jump start in releasing any stagnant Qi out of the lungs. So tapping, or sometimes called knocking, they call this, activates energy to that organ. We're getting, first we started with, a little bit of the kidney stuff, and now we're up in the heart. Now reach up a little higher and tap your shoulder. Come up a little higher. And this space between the head and neck is starting to open up the energy channel to the vagus nerve behind the skull. Now, any head and neck exercises are going to be giving us the opportunity to regulate this vagus nerve. So you want to, again, just monitor your breathing. Make sure you're breathing however it feels comfortable for you. And now drop down and see if you can go a little faster. Just put a little energy into it. Make a little dance out of it. And now shake it out a little bit. Now have a sip of water. Have a little sip of water. Now I'm going to ask you to lean forward and tap your kidneys. Really get some more activation in the kidneys. The kidneys, of course, cleanse our blood, and the adrenals are sitting on the kidneys. So the adrenals are very important in our stress management, which we'll learn later. Now here in this area between the trunk and the legs called the Qi, Q-U-A, Qi area. We call this the Sea of Qi. When you're tapping here, you're kind of adding energy here between the body, trunk of the body, and the legs, the extremities. And this is a very concentrated area of Qi, of life force, right here in the second chakra area. Tapping the Sea of Qi. Now we're coming up to tap the thymus gland over the sternum. And so the thymus gland is, of course, right near the heart and the lungs. And when we tap here, we're activating the immune system responsiveness. So this gives our immune system a jump start. Very important if you're in recovery or if you're having any health challenges, to give your immune system as much resilience as possible. Now I'm going to ask you to drop down, kind of in like the standing pose, but this time bend your knees slightly, have your hands face up to the sky. Now close your eyes. Center in on the tingling from the tapping in the different places where you were tapping. Feel the energy flowing through your body as you breathe. Imagine you're breathing through your hands from the sky. Exhale through your feet into the earth. Connection to the earth and the sky. Breathe in from the sky, through your hands. Exhale through your feet into the earth. Just follow the energy. See what's happening in your body. Relax, breathe. Focus on breathing. Visualize breathing through your hands. Exhale through your feet. Okay, now open your eyes, and now we're going to lift. We're going to breathe in up from the dantian, lift up above the head, stretch up as high as you can, and a big circle down, waterfall down to your thighs. Keep your back straight. Breathe up from the thighs, above your head. Exhale down to the knees. Gather up earth energy from the knees above your head. Breathe in. And like a waterfall, exhale down to your shins. Keep your back straight. Breathe in up. And once again, exhale down to the earth, all the way to the earth. Gather up the earth energy, all the way up through the chakras above your head, and exhale down. And now shake out your shoulders. Now I'm going to give you one exercise that I really love to do that helps energize the heart and lungs. This is called scissors arms. This is a great way to wake up first thing in the morning if you're a little groggy and your energy's low. If you just do some scissors arms instead of that coffee, you'll wake up pretty quickly and efficiently, and you'll get that heart and lungs pumping energy very fast. So remember, we talked how important it is to get that cardiovascular going, right? So this is a way of just getting the energy flowing here. You can do as many of these as you like, a couple times a day if you feel like it. And it's also good to do before you go to bed. It actually helps you to relax as well as be energized. It's fascinating to be energized and relaxed. Okay, now shake it out again and have another sip of water. Okay, so now what we're going to do is a couple of brocades that are going to be for the upper shoulders and head. So remember, I was talking about this very important nerve called the vagus nerve. It's in the back of the skull here, at the top of the spine. In Kriya Yoga, they call this point the medulla oblongata, or the mouth of God. This is a interface between life force energy in the spine. It happens to be the seat of this vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve in the body, and it connects to all the organs. So it's always monitoring what's going on with our organs, the emotions that are moving through our organs, and the digestion. But we're going to work with tonifying that nerve as much as we can today. So first we're going to do the shoulder exercise. Lift your shoulder up and back, your left shoulder up and back, up and back. Now your right shoulder 3 times, 2 and 3. Good. Now both shoulders, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Now your left shoulder up and forward, 2 and 3. And now your right shoulder, 1, 2, and 3. Now bring the shoulders up to your ears and tense the muscles there. Drop it. Move both shoulders up and forward. Bring the shoulders up to the ears again. Tense the muscles. Hold your breath and let it drop like a sack of potatoes. Move the shoulders back. Once again, up. Tense the muscles and let it drop. Now just shake out your shoulders a little bit here. We hold a lot of tension in the upper body, in the shoulders and neck. A lot of it is we're not even aware of it, it's subconscious, but we're going to work with releasing some of that. Now lift your head up and down, up and down, up and down. Now we're going to turn our head to the right and the left, and to the right, the left, to the right, and to the left. Good. Now we're going to do head circles, but first we're going to reach our right hand up over. Find that soft spot behind your left ear. We're going to pull your head to the right, look in the upper left corner with your eyes. So you're pulling one way, looking in the other opposite direction in the corner, stretching your eyes. This is a great way to reset your nervous system. Very subtle. Don't pull too hard, but just enough to get a good stretch on the neck. And now gently let go and move your head from side to side. Okay, left arm up over. Find that soft spot behind the right ear. Pull to your left. Look in the upper right corner with your eyes. Breathe and just feel the energy moving here. It's an interesting thing with pulling one way and looking the other, how that kind of resets the nervous system. Okay, now gently release. And again, head from side to side. And now we're going to move our head in clockwise circles very slowly. Clockwise head circles. And now head circles the other way. And now shake out your shoulders a little bit. And now we're going to do something interesting here. We're going to pull up on the ears. And when you pull on the ears, you're kind of activating these points in the ears. Breathe in as you pull up. And now pull down on the earlobes and a dragon breath like this. Let go of that stagnant. Now we're going to reach around the back and really massage that bindu point, that medulla oblongata, the vagus nerve point here. We're just really massaging that point. Give it a good circular motion here. Activate as much as possible energy here. Now reach in along the edges of your skull here and really dig in behind your ears here. Really just give a lot of good pressure there. Come forward and look up, gently massage your thyroid. Not much pressure on the Adam's apple here, just nice, easy, flowing massage. Now we're going to take our middle finger here, fire finger, put it in the center here in that soft spot in your neck, and massage that thymus again. Switch, same thing. Now hand over the dantian. We're going to put our left finger under your nose. There's a balance point here. And switch. And now cross over underneath the clavicles. There's a little pressure point here in the soft spot underneath the clavicles. This helps our stomach meridian to release any tension and worrisome chi in the stomach. Lets the stomach relax a little bit and gets more energy flowing. Now up and down the center line of your belly, or your body from your belly to your neck. Activate all your chakra points here. And now we're going to tap, and our vowel sounds for the organs, we're just going to practice them generally here, and then we'll get more specific with them as we go. So, oh, eh, ah, eh, oh, oh, eh, ah, eh, oh. So each of those organs has a sound that we're going to be learning that's associated with it. Now tap down the arm, the outside, tapping over here on the right arm, and up the outside. Now down the backs of your legs, and tap up the front. Back to your sea of chi here. And now we're going to shoo off the kidneys like this. Just clear any energy off the kidneys. Reach your hands up, shake them, and breathe in and throw it down. Breathe in up, throw it down. Breathe in up and throw it down. Now shake out your shoulders. Put your fingers in the center of your palms like this. Arms out at your sides, stand shoulder width. Now just feel the energy in your body right now. Check in, see how you're feeling. Breathe, focus on breathing. Just nice, easy, even deep breaths. Close your eyes and just feel the energy here. And now again, revisit yourself at the end of session. How would you like to feel? Just notice if anything has shifted up to now, if any energy is still hanging around. Check in with your emotions. How do you feel? Is there certain emotions that you'd like to let go of that may still be challenging for you? We're going to work here in a minute to release some energy in that regard. Nice, easy breaths. Okay, now we're going to close our stance, hands over your heart, and drop down to the dantian. Breathe in, push that belly out. Exhale, pull it back to your spine. Beautiful. Shake out your hands and get a good sip of water here, my friends. All right. Now, I'm going to share with you some specific exercises for the lungs and the heart. Now, there are two different types of brocades. We're going to work with just one today. You'll learn the others as we go. So these are interesting because they have certain hand postures called mudras. You might have heard this in yoga. There are certain hand postures that we use in meditations, various ones that show up. This one is like this. You're making an L with your thumbs and fingers, and you want to stand as wide as your shoulders and put the backs of your hands facing with the fingers pointing to the earth. So here we're in emptiness. We're not breathing. We're relaxed. Your knees are slightly bent. Back is straight. So you're pulling energy up from the earth here. We're going to take a breath here. Open and expand. Point those fingers to the sky and breathe in white, pure metal element Qi into the lungs. Visualize white in the lungs. Feel the energy coming in. Exhale this sound, all stagnant Qi. Like air coming out of a balloon. Again, point to the backs of the hands. Lift here, take your breath. Point the fingertips to the sky. Visualize white purification Qi coming into the lungs. Feel the energy coming in. Exhale stagnant Qi, this sound. We're going to do two more of those. Lift, breathe. Feel the Qi coming in. Exhale. Once again, emptiness, breathe. Visualize white coming through the fingertips into the lungs. And exhaling again. Close your stance, hands over the dantian. Breathe in, push the belly out. Exhale, pull it back to your spine. All right, shake out your hands here a little bit. Kick it out. Okay. Awesome. Now we're going to do the heart mudra, which looks like this. Okay, and we're going to stand again, shoulder width, elbows at your sides, palms facing the sky. Bend your knees slightly. Now we're going to come back around the kidneys here, like this. Bring the arms forward with the backs of the hands almost touching. We do that again for you. We come back around the kidneys, almost touch the hands. Now we're going to lift and breathe and push the hands so that the palms are facing out. Visualize red fire element Qi coming into the heart, bringing that fire life force into the heart. Exhale this sound. Very specific breath sound for the heart. Again, elbows at your sides, relax, emptiness, come around the kidneys, push up and breathe in, point the palms out, visualize red fire Qi coming into the heart. Exhale. Once again, palms up, here we go. Emptiness, breathe here. All the way up. Push those hands out so your palms are facing out, arms are straight. Red fire Qi into the heart. Exhale. One more. Here we go. Up and take your breath. Red fire Qi into the palms. Exhale down. Close your stance, hands over your dantian. Breathe in. Push the belly out. Exhale. Okay, so now we're going to do a quick energy clearing using all elemental sound, breath sounds, and visualization. So we're going to widen our stance, Bounce your hands in front of the dantian. Again, see if you can feel that energy field there. And now we're going to cup the hands here. And we're going to begin to stir the energy through your field. Just kind of move it all through like you're swimming. Bring that energy all through your field. Now reach down to the earth. Gather up earth chi into the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up and point the hands up. Visualize white metal chi coming into the lungs. Exhale. Down to the earth. Gather up earth chi into the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up. Red fire chi in the heart. Through the palms into the heart. Exhale. To the earth. Gather up earth chi into the heart. Exhale. Cross up yellow gold earth energy in the stomach. Bring it in. Exhale. To the earth. Gather up from the earth into the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up blue water energy in the kidneys. Gather it into your kidneys. Exhale. To the earth. Once again up into the heart. Exhale loving kindness. Cross up green wood element chi in the liver. Through the palms into the liver. Exhale. Down to the earth. Now come up, sprinkle around you, and you're in standing tree. Here again, feel that energy field between your hands and your chest. Close your eyes, see if you can really feel that beach ball, invisible energy field here. You'll feel a little resistance. It's pretty cool when you feel it. Now this is our biofield where we contain our thoughts and feelings. So your affirmation here is, my thoughts and feelings in this present moment are positive and repowering. All my thoughts and feelings in this present moment are positive and repowering. Now expand your stance wide for the good of all and close your stance. Bring it right back into the dantian. Breathe in, push it out. Exhale, pull it back. All right, dear friends, awesome. Get some water. And now you have a chance to sit and relax for a little bit. Okay, have some water, some tea. And so now this part of our class here, our program, I'm going to work with sounds in your voice, and this instrument I call the harmonium, you can hear it. It has specific notes. So the harmonium is really good because it has a drone and it gives us a voice tone reference. So we try to match that tone with our voice. So what we're going to do is I want you to just relax if you can with your back straight. And, we're going to work with different kinds of breathing exercises here, visualizations and sounds. So the first thing I'd like you to do is put your hands over your heart. Excuse me, put your hands over your lungs, over your lungs, and visualize that white, pure chi. Close your eyes. Imagine your white purification chi is coming into the lungs with each breath. Now remember, the lungs are clarity and discernment. And when we exhale, we're releasing sadness and grief. So let's connect with the energy of clarity for a moment. Breathe into your lungs, push the belly out. Visualize white purification chi coming into the lungs. Hold your breath. And now we're just going to tone and hum to create the connection between the sound and the organ. Here we go. Now have a nice cleansing breath here. Breathe in, exhale. Now take a moment to reflect on your life, events, circumstances, and relationships. If you've been feeling some sadness or grief or overwhelmed with what's going on in the world or in your life, however it may show up consciously or otherwise, let that all be present in your lungs. Just let it be with you. We're going to release all of that lovingly here in a moment. Breathe all that Qi into the lungs that you want to let go of. Visualize white, pure energy. Hold your breath. Gather it all up. We're going to let it go with a sound, ooh, like this. Ooh. Now, without breathing, create an intention to energize your lungs with pure Qi, clarity, and discernment. Breathe into the lungs. Push the belly out. Visualize that pure white Qi coming into the lungs. Hold your breath. And now we're going to repower and tonify the lungs with the sound ooh. Here we go. Ooh. Now relax your hands and face. Have a sip of water. And now we're going to concentrate our energy on the heart. And when you're ready, place your hands over your heart. And we're going to, again, visualize the color red. Remember, red is the color of the heart and fire element. So we're just going to connect to the energy of the heart for a moment. Feel the Qi coming in through your hands, connecting you to your heart. Visualize red. There are lovely qualities of the heart: love, compassion, forgiveness, gratitude, joy. So we want to breathe those qualities. Breathe in. Just feel the energy in your heart. Push the belly out as you breathe in. Visualize red. And we're going to exhale humming just to create the connection to the note. Here we go. Now a nice cleansed breath here. Breathe in, exhale this sound. Now visualize red and reflect on your life. If you've been feeling a little overwhelmed, if there's been some hysteria or overexcitement or brokenheartedness for whatever reason, conscious or otherwise in your life, events, circumstances, and relationships, again, let that energy be present. Breathe it into the heart to let it go. Breathe in, push the belly out. Visualize red fire Qi in the heart. Hold the energy there. We're going to let it go with the sound A. Let it all go. Now, without breathing, create the intention to energize your heart with love, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness, all the beautiful qualities of the heart. Joyful heart energy. Breathe in, push the belly out. Visualize all that good Qi coming into the heart. Now we're going to energize the heart, the sound A. Let it go. Here we go. Relax your hands and face. And have a sip of water, my friends. All right. Wonderful. Thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you to lie down on your back, on your yoga mat, on your couch, on the floor, wherever you feel comfortable, in what we call Shavasana, yoga position, where your arms are by your sides, and just relax your back onto the earth. Take a deep breath and let yourself just connect to the energy of the earth. Take a couple of nice, easy breaths. With each breath, relax a little bit more into the energy of the earth. Let your spine connect there. Breathe in through your base of your spine. Exhale through your feet. Nice, easy, slow breaths. And just let yourself get grounded here. Breathe in, nice, slow, easy breaths. Each breath, relax a little bit more. Exhale. Breathe in and exhale. Nice, easy breaths. And now reach up and put your hands over your lungs. Nice, easy breaths over your lungs. Breathing in, exhaling in a nice, smooth, easy fashion. Nice, easy breaths. Connecting to the metal element, just nice, clear Qi coming in. Breathe. Visualize white in the lungs. Nice cleansing breath here. Breathe in, exhale. And now place your hands over your heart. And take a nice deep breath into your heart. And again, visualize this red fire element Qi coming into the heart. Nice, continuous, relaxed breaths. Exhale. Okay, now slowly take a breath and tighten all the muscles in your feet and your ankles. Breathe in and exhale. Move the energy up into your calves and your knees and thighs. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Now move the energy up into your lower abdomen. And tense the muscles, breathe in and exhale. And now come up to your solar plexus and stomach. And breathe in, tense the muscles. Exhale. Now place your hands over your heart again and feel your heart beating in your hands, sending all that love and energy. Take a nice deep breath into your lungs. Feel the energy between your heart and lungs, sending life force and Qi through your body. Feel the love and the compassion and the gratitude with each breath for your life, your community, your family, for your practice, and your good health and well-being. Connect your energy to the rhythm of the drum, and if it feels good, to the rhythm of the earth, so that everyone is breathing and connecting their hearts to the energy of the earth and the healing energy of the divine current of the earth. Nice, easy breaths. And now move your head gently from side to side. Take a nice stretch, as if you're a cat waking up from a long nap. And just let all the energy move through your body here as you breathe in. And when you're ready, you can come on back into the screen and let yourself come on back into the space. All right, my friends. Thank you for being here today. Hope you had a good journey with me. Thanks for your time and your energy. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, Christo.
You're welcome. All right, so keep your eyes and ears open for emails that will have the charts and some of the other information available for you, which will be coming soon.
Thank you so